Welcome back to the channel, guys, and welcome back to the Lotus Emira, a car I've reviewed many times, but always in stock or lightly modified form. I've driven this on street as well as on track, and while I do really like the overall vibe of the car, it focuses so much on driving feedback and pleasure rather than outright performance. I always thought that for just over $100,000, it just wasn't quite enough car for the money, especially when you have to deal with some of the Lotus quirks. But what happens when you spend over $20,000 on modifications to bring this car's performance up to the next level? That's what we're gonna find out in this video. I've driven this car before, but the owner, Dan, has spent over $20,000 in mods. I'll put the full list of mods in the video description. We have a JB4 Piggyback 93 Octane Map. JB4 claims this produces around 460 wheel horsepower and 396 pound-feet of torque at the wheels. We also have a GRP Air Filter and third cat delete. So if that wasn't already enough of a difference over stock, here's the thing that really has my attention. This has Ohlins TTX coilovers. They have custom springs and valving, 500 pounds in the front, 800 pounds in the rear. That's plus 45% front, plus 22% rear spring rates compared to the OEM Sport suspension. These cost over $10,000, by the way. We also have some aftermarket wheels. They're Volk CE28 knockoffs, but they're combined 13 pounds lighter than stock, and they're 19 by 9.5 in the front, 20 by 11 in the rear. The owner, Dan, actually 3D scanned the car and chose the specific widths and offsets to fit perfectly. I love the look and the stance of this car, especially with red on silver wheels. It just looks perfect. The tires are 275 front, 305 rear Vitour P1. So that's 30 millimeters wider at the front and just 10 millimeters wider at the back. We also have some basic brake upgrades with Girodisc Rotors, Project Mu HC Plus pads in the front, and a Milltek Valve Controller with a custom GPS touchscreen remote that Dan developed. Let me actually show you how that works. It's so cool. All right, check this out. Right now the valve is open. This is a touch screen. If I just do this, it's closed. There's also an OEM mode so that depending on your throttle position and your RPM, it'll open and close the valve just like stock. We're gonna drive it obviously with it wide open. Oh, and we have these aftermarket Tillett bucket seats, which were on the car the last time I drove it as well. So in stock form, this car made 400 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque from the 3.5 liter supercharged Toyota V6. It's the 2GRFE engine, 6,800 RPM redline. That is unchanged with this tune. Double wishbone front and rear suspension, 3,200 pound curb weight. So if you bought this car brand new, let's say a couple years back for around 100 grand, and then you added $20,000 of mods, you're looking at 120 to let's say 130. Is this car now really worth the price? Because that's now basically competing against Porsche 718 GT4 in terms of price. Track mode for the best powertrain responsiveness. And I gotta say, from outside, this car looks absolutely incredible. It almost has a JDM aesthetic on a British car. Yeah, that's a good amount of power. Lots of mid-range torque now. This JB4 map definitely increases the boost by a lot. Wow. Fast car now. Over 500 at the crank. We still have this delicious hydraulic power steering full of feedback. I'm still not a huge fan of the steering wheel design. It's a little bit too thick in my opinion, especially at the 9 3 grips. I like to curl my fingers around the wheel, if that makes sense. This steering wheel doesn't really let you do that, but delicious steering feel nonetheless. And this 6-speed manual with a custom knob that, you guessed it, Dan designed. Feels so good, so mechanical. Really good brake feel when you're hard on the brakes. At low speed, it's a little bit touchy. Wow, Ohlins TTX dampers are like magic over the bumps. Not only does the car soak up the bumps like they're nothing, it also corners flat. You get the best of both worlds. bit underdamped over that bump. I think this is a Dan's street setting right now. He also tracks this car. All right, listen to this. Wow, you know what? The most impressive part of that pull wasn't the acceleration, which was impressive, but it was the way the car handled the bump near the end of that straight. Most cars that have, 500 plus horsepower lose traction over that bump. This one just stayed perfectly planted thanks to these Ohlins TTX dampers. By the way, I forgot to mention, with all the mods, this car is now 150 pounds lighter than stock. That means it's about 3,100 pounds with fuel. I actually do wish the damping was a little bit higher. Even for this bumpy road, these dampers can handle the bumps so well. A little bit of extra damping would help it feel more flat. Oh, amazing front end grip now with 275 section width front Vitour P1 tires. This car's performance level has been utterly transformed with these mods. Power output that now rivals a GT3, with suspension that also probably rivals a GT3, if not better, depending on how you tune it, since it's manually adjustable. If I had one complaint with this car, it's gotta still be the engine sound and the low red line. 6,800 RPMs. Just not really enough for a car that looks so good and drives so well. And based on the sound, I always just end up hitting the limiter. It wants to rev higher, or I want it to rev higher. Good throttle response with the tune. It still feels pretty OEM in that regard. The throttle response has not been compromised too much from the Piggyback. Sometimes when you tune a car, you lose some response, but not in this case. Wow, the way this car handles the bumps is incredible. I think the stock Emira actually has really good bump absorption also with the sport suspension, but the car just feels like it moves around a little bit too much. It's a little bit too soft. This Ohlins TTX setup remedies that problem. It still gives you extreme clarity in terms of what the suspension is doing and how it's communicated back to the driver. You can feel each corner of the car through the seat of your pants. You get so much communication. The Ohlins TTX still retains that feeling. With the higher spring rates and the better quality dampers, it's just on a different level of cornering performance now. Oh, that low red line is such a buzzkill. These engines make peak power at 6,800 RPM, which is the rev limiter. Most engines are tuned in such a way that you still have 200 to maybe 500 RPM to go once you hit peak power. That way it feels like the power is still building progressively, and it gives you time to shift into that next gear. Even with the JB4 tune now fixing the overall output, or not fixing perhaps, but increasing the level of power output to, I think, what this car always deserved, especially for the money, it doesn't address the low red line. I would love to drive one of these cars with, let's say, a 7,200, 7,300 RPM limiter. Dan mentioned these probably aren't safe at 7,500 RPM. So unfortunately, you're never gonna get a truly like 8,000 RPM or higher revving Emira without significant mods or an engine swap. So the engine is still gonna be a little bit of a drawback to this car for me. Even with these mods, with the excellent power output, with the amazing suspension, the mild brake upgrades, the shifter, all the things that Dan has done to this car to make it not only look beautiful, but drive amazing. The engine is still the one thing that I just wish had more character and more drama to it. But other than that, this now absolutely feels like a $120,000 to $130,000 driving experience. Not just the feedback that it gives you, which the stock Emira was already amazing at, but also in the performance level. So let me know what you think about this modified Lotus Emira. What would you do to an Emira to bring this to an even higher level? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.